Hello, this is Pearl, and today I'm going to read Little Pilgrim's Progress, Chapter 33, Bypath Meadow. The little pilgrims left the Valley of Peace early in the morning and traveled along the way of the king all that day. Late in the afternoon, they came to a place where a stile led into a broad green meadow. It was called Bypath Meadow, and it belonged to a cruel and powerful giant named Despair. He was one of the most famous soldiers in the wicked prince's army, and he lived in a strong castle beyond the meadow, which could not be seen from the way of the king. This was all written in Christian's book, but he did not think of looking at it just then. The boys were both feeling very tired. They had found the path leading up from the river rough and stony, and their feet were sore and aching. Little Christian stopped when he saw the stile and leaned over it. A fence divided the meadow from the way of the king, but a smooth, grassy path ran close to it. "Could we not walk on this path for a little way?" he said, turning to Hopeful. "The stones are so hard, and my feet ache dreadfully." "So do mine," answered Hopeful. "But would it be safe?" Then he came to the stile and looked over. "Oh, I think it must be," said Christian. "See, it runs close to the fence. We could climb back again anywhere in a minute." Hopeful did not feel quite sure they were doing right, but as he thought that Christian knew more about the king's laws than he did, he followed his companion into the meadow. The grass was soft and pleasant to their feet, and not far before them another boy was walking along near to the fence. Christian called to him, saying, "Can you tell us where this path leads to?" The boy, whose name was Vain Confidence, turned around and replied, "To the Celestial City." "You see," said Christian, "I was right. We shall be quite safe. We can keep behind that boy, and then, if there is any danger, we shall know of it in time to escape." But Hopeful was not satisfied, and when the night came on and the shadows grew so thick that the figure of Vain Confidence could no longer be seen, he felt frightened. Suddenly a cry was heard and a sound of falling. Hopeful seized Christian's arm and clung to him in great fear, and Christian too lost his courage and began to tremble from head to foot. "What could have happened?" he said, and called again to Vain Confidence. But he received no answer. Only, through the darkness, the boys could hear that someone was groaning as if in terrible pain. "I am sure we are not in the right way," said Hopeful, "and it is so dark." Christian did not answer. He knew now that he had done wrong in climbing over the stile, and he wondered how he could have been so foolish as to think that any path could be safe that led him out of the straight road. But before he could speak, he felt some heavy drops of rain upon his face. Then a bright flash of lightning darted across the sky, and a roar of thunder followed. The rain poured in torrents, and the thunder and the lightning were more fearful than any which they had heard or seen before. Christian began to cry, and to wish that he had not been so careless. "It was my fault," he said. "Oh, Hopeful, I am sorry. I deserved to be killed, but you would never have come if I had not persuaded you." "I might have," said Hopeful, not liking to hear poor Christian's sobs. "Don't cry, Christian. It was my fault too, because I didn't try to prevent your coming." "Let us turn back," said Christian. "Perhaps we can find our way." By this time the heavy rain had filled the little streams that ran through the meadow, and the path by the fence was flooded. The water was so deep that the boys could scarcely keep their footing, and they began to fear that they would never get back into the way of the king. The storm lasted for many hours, and although Christian and Hopeful struggled on bravely, they soon found that it would not be possible to make their way to the stile in the darkness. So at last they crouched down together in a little sheltered corner close to the fence, meaning to watch for the first gleam of daylight, and then hasten on their way. But they were both worn out with fright and weariness, and before the morning came on they fell asleep.